again, everyone. Today I am here to swatch a mixed media supply, which is these oil sticks by Shiva. And I'll tell you what I normally use oil sticks for. So I do have a little collection of oil sticks, and mostly they are basically pure pigment sticks. And generally I am using them in encaustic painting. So encaustic painting is painting with beeswax, and it gets these really beautiful layering effects, and it almost looks like you're looking through old antique glass to the different layers of things that you've put under beeswax. The medium is actually beeswax and damar resin. The damar resin makes it a little bit harder. Because it's beeswax, you can't use acrylic paints with it, but oil paints are compatible. So you can put oil paint in between the layers of encaustic, and you can, in fact, you can do that before it even dries, and you can also mix in oil sticks with the encaustic medium, the beeswax, and actually color it. So that's generally what I'm using oil sticks for. Many different brands make them. I also, and you also, you certainly don't need to use them in encaustics. You could use this as a final layer in mixed media. That is one other thing that I have used them for. It really should be a final layer just because oil sticks which like oil paint, tend to take a long time to dry. So these are a new brand to me, Shiva. I don't think I've gotten anything from them. And this is, I think, what they're calling, I forget what the set's called. I think it's called the Classic set. But to me, it looked more like a vintage kind of color story going on. And then I bought the white separately because I wanted to have white. So I'm going to be swatching these today. One thing to note is they do, according to the label, it takes them 24 hours to dry. So you will not be seeing them dry. And I'm also not going to be rubbing these with anything. I don't want to rub them with my hands because I am very sensitive of whenever you have oil paint or anything that is oil based, and sometimes it's also the fillers that are in there in addition to oil, you can potentially break the skin barrier, and pigments, which may be poisonous or just generally bad for you, or other things that are in the paints that could be generally bad for you, can get into your system. So I tend to not use my hands with anything oil related. When I use encaustics and oil paint, I use rubber gloves. I don't have rubber gloves handy today. For mixed media stuff, there have been some people that I think have used makeup brushes to rub the color in or blend with different colors. I've used Q-tips before, which works pretty well. I didn't get out Q-tips for today's video, but you will be able to see the colors, and you'll be able to see the texture of the oil stick. And these do require a little bit of prep. So I have a roll of paper towels over here, which I am going to show you. So these are my shop towels that I keep over here. They're really sturdy. I'm actually going to cut this, rip it rather, in half, so I just can use half of it. Save the other half for later because they're super thick. They last a really long time. I will use one of these for, maybe a full month of fountain pen ink testing and stuff and wiping off, sometimes even longer. But what you do need to do with these, and to let you know how I'm storing them, I am just putting them in an old Galen leather box that a pen case came in, and it seemed quite nice to hold them. There's a little extra room in case I want to put other oil sticks in here, and I just thought that was a nice way to corral them. They do not have much of an odor, and sometimes with oil paint you will get quite an odor, which oftentimes people find unpleasant, but these do not. Okay, so in order to prep them, you need to take off, they develop a film pretty quickly so that they will not completely dry out, and you need to just rub that little bit of film off. So it's usually not very much, and you're usually not wasting very much. But then once you've done that, they're super creamy, and and it's really, really lovely. I am using Pentalic paper today. This was one that actually the page across from it got a little bit of contamination from this little testing page over here, but I figured this would be fine for today. And this color is, let's see, Celadon Green, which is a lovely, lovely green. But see, for something like this kind of a swatch, I don't feel like I need to rub it necessarily to show you the color, but just know that there are options. You could, and this, I do this often with things that are somewhat toxic, is I will just cut out a finger on a rubber glove and then put it over like my index finger, for example, and then just rub with a gloved finger, and that works as well. Okay, so let's go through here. Let's get the little bit of coating off of the next one here, and sometimes it takes a little more finagling, but generally you can get it off pretty easy. Oh, and I don't think yeah, there we go. You'll know when you've gotten that off because the texture will just be like gliding on glass. Okay, and so this color is Barn Red, and I will have to leave these out for 24 hours without touching them. I don't know if I've mentioned, because they will smear until they're dry, that this is a Pentalic watercolor notebook, and basically I just was using some free space that I had left over in here. And I'm trying not to have contamination between the different oil sticks. We'll see if I can keep that going. Oh, and that looks like a little bit more came off than the others. So, but that's okay. And that film will develop pretty much right away, so you'll never have a dried out oil stick, which is nice. Okay. Oh, and that color is Dusty Rose, which was actually one of the reasons why I got it, because this whole set, because I really liked that Dusty Rose color. Okay, see, that one came up pretty easy. Oh, looks like I might need to get a little bit more of that off there. Yeah, and this one sort of has a different texture than the others. And there was even more of that. So this one is Yellow Ochre. And this one looks like it has the potential to be a little bit transparent compared to the others. And I know it does seem a little wasteful to take this film off, but it really, I mean, it's much less wasteful than having an entire oil stick that is not usable because it completely dries out. Okay. And then this one is Pewter Gray, which is another lovely one. And when you take the film off, I can smell it more than I did without the film on. But it's not terrible. I mean, you can definitely use these indoors without ventilation. Okay, let's see. No, that didn't work yet. Okay, and then this color is Wedgewood Blue. And then the final color, which you won't be able to see all that well, I'm going to wrap this up and do this last one here. You won't be able to see the white very well just because, you know, it's white. But I am going to try to blend it with one other color actually on here. So yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it's pretty white. It's pretty white. But what I was going to do is, what you can do is you can take one stick and blend it with the other like that, and you'll get a little bit of blending of color. The only problem is then you have to wipe that blended color off the end of your stick, but you can get back to white pretty easy on that. So you can also blend with 2 sticks together, but you'll always have to wipe it off. And I'll just throw this away, this paper towel here. Okay, so I will put this up close to the camera so you can see that a little bit better. Let me box up those sticks there. So, and you can see the texture is pretty shiny. That will pretty much stay when they dry. They will not, they'll dry a little bit matte, but they won't, they'll still look a little glossy. So there you go. But I love this color palette, and it's actually really nice to be able to mix the colors that way. And you can barely see that white there, here. It's more of a texture than anything else. All right, just thought you might be interested in a new supply that I got and wanted to swatch on the channel. And at some point I may do a swatching, or not a swatching, but an actual mixed media piece on the channel. I've had a few requests to do various mixed media things on the channel. Those videos of me actually demoing things have not fared all that well on my channel, and part of it's probably just because, you know, I have a bunch of different topics I cover on my channel. So just let me know what you think, whether you are interested in more mixed media content, or you know, what you're interested in, because I don't want to go too far afield with different topics and then have no one be interested, because I know I have certain readers within, or viewers within, certain groups, and want to make sure I make the majority of you happy if I can. So that is all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I hope to see you next time. But in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.